So I'm Jenifer Hartman in the Ed Leadership Preparation Program. My research agenda focuses on collaborating with practitioners in the field to solve problems of practice. And this particular study talks about the lift. So it was a study done in a high poverty, high minority high school, looking at student success and an equity challenge, and Boca Ciega was the high school. It's a school that a number of years ago, about 10 years ago, was very low performing. The challenges of minority and high poverty students exist there, lack of exposure, lack of access to opportunity, lack of preparation, which leads to achievement gaps. So the school now is a higher performing school, and it has been rated by the stakeholders as having a very positive school climate. And we know that a positive school climate can alleviate the negative effects of poverty on student achievement. So they talk a lot about the lift at Boca Ciega, what it takes to lift these students up and help them be successful. So a little bit about Boca Ciega. It's 58% Black and Hispanic students, 100% free and reduced lunch program. It's located in a high poverty neighborhood, and yet it has these high school climate ratings. So just to talk about those a little bit, in the district distributes a survey. The highest rated comments from the students: in my school, the principal and teachers have high expectations of me. Parents say our school has high expectations for all students. And staff say our school's purpose statement focuses on student success. So the research questions were: what are the observed conditions in the school and the leadership practices and behaviors that lead to the stakeholders' perceptions that contribute to school and student success in a high poverty urban high school? So how did I do this? I interviewed students, parents, teachers, staff. I transcribed the interviews and coded the interviews within Vivo to see what patterns and trends I saw and what their perception of what created the positive school climate. There were 4 themes that emerged. 1, a caring school culture. 2, trustworthy leadership. 3, rigorous instruction and high expectations. And 4, strong systems of support. So just to talk about these a little bit, the caring school culture. The foundation of that, everyone said, were the personal relationships that were developed at the school between the teachers, the staff, the principal. The principal was noted to be one of the most caring people in terms of making personal contact with individual students. There was a lot of individual attention. He knows where they are. He encourages their success. The whole leadership team does. The students said that they had equal opportunity to develop their talents in schools and skills. And they all cited the safe school as an evidence of a caring school culture. Second, the trustworthy leadership. The principal in particular modeled the behaviors he expected of everyone else. The teachers would say, he doesn't ask us to do anything he won't do himself. And in that, there was a culture of support for everyone, for the students, for the teachers, for the staff. The principal had a consistent, strong work ethic. He was always there, always working really hard. And he was out with everyone, and he had very clear communication, both written, through robocalls, through his announcements, so he was very clear. Third, the rigorous instruction and high expectations. Part of the foundation for that was differentiated, individualized instruction. The students said that they got what they needed. Excuse me. And they implement the school-wide AVID program, which is a college-going culture. The expectation is that students will enroll in AP and honors courses, particularly in their junior and senior years, and that school has a growth mindset. Try it. You might not always be successful, but try it. Within that, they also have strong systems of support. Again, that clear communication came through and as a strong system. They have a multi-tiered system of support, which allows teachers and staff to communicate about student needs on a moment-to-moment basis. They all talked about coaching up students. In other words, finding what their strength was and then coaching them up to take the honors and the AP courses in their areas of strength. And so that's a phrase that they use a lot, the supporting the students. The teachers also have strong supports through professional development, through Mr. Vigu, particularly having a very caring attitude towards the teachers, making sure they have what they need. And they have strong stakeholder engagement. Parents are very involved. Their parent meetings are well attended. So those were the 4 themes that emerged from the stakeholder interviews: the caring school culture, trustworthy leadership, rigorous instruction and high expectations for student performance, and strong systems of support to take them, to lift them up, to take them from where they are when they come in the high school to where they want to be. So as we went to the virtual format in the spring, we heard the teachers saying that it was more difficult for them to practice those differentiated instruction and interpersonal developing skills. So that's what we're studying next.
Thank you, Jenifer. Excellent job. Excellent. And just the data that you were able, the richness of the data that you were able to collect through your interviews from the folks involved with that particular school with Boca Ciega is very powerful. So thank you for sharing that. Questions for Jenifer, questions or comments? Some of you might have your hands up from before, so I don't want to call on you if maybe you have your hands still up from before. But if you want to keep it up, please do, because I will call on you. Oscar, I see your hand.
Hello, Jenifer. Thank you very much for your presentation. Very interesting. You said that one of the emphasis of the view of leadership in the school was the focus on college-going approaches. And I was wondering if it's a school in a high poverty community, is there a discussion about using career and technical education, for instance, as an option that would probably help some of those families and their students get a job, so for them to get out of poverty?
Yes, I think they focus on the college-going culture because then they know that if they're prepared for college and they have more choices in terms of whatever else they want to do. So what I didn't talk as much about is the way that the schools, they have lots of extracurricular activities that they have during the day so that kids have access. And the kids would talk about how they could develop in areas that they never even knew they were interested in, like theater. And so the school nurtures the students in whatever they want to pursue. And so if it leads to careers in technical education, they're fully supportive of that too.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for your question, Oscar. Sharon, is your hand up from before, or do you have a new question for Jenifer? Okay, Dana, is your hand up from? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sharon. Okay, Dana, do you have your hand up as a new question, or is that from before? Oh, Dana just took his hand down. All right, Sharon.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. Happens all the time to all of us.
No, I don't have my hand up, and I'm not showing that it's up, so I don't know if it's still hanging out there from the last time. But no, that was. Thanks.
It is, I think, but that's not a problem. And Oscar, do you have another question?
Just a follow-up comment, because I would be one of the things that Jenifer was revealing was the whole leadership approach to try to engage students in school, and including their families. And one of the things that I have discovered in a paper, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that in my presentation, is the importance of the role of counselors. So I would really like to talk to you about how leadership and counseling, particularly, are linked for that purpose. And again, thank you for the presentation.
Right. Yes, I mean, that staff works so cohesively. That multi-tiered system of support links the counselors, the teachers, everyone, the administration, and on an instantaneous basis. If a student comes to school and seems upset, everybody knows, and they use that to have that constant communication, and the counselors are a big part of that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Good question, Oscar. And Jenifer, thank you. And it's good to know that MTSS is working very well in that school for sure.
It is. Thank you.